Or twice born brāhmaṇas, still his mind was not satisfied. Although he engaged himself in working for the total welfare of all people. Please repeat the translation. Or twice born brāhmaṇas, still his mind was not satisfied. Although he engaged himself in working for the total welfare of all people. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Sri Vyasadeva was not satisfied with himself. Although he had prepared literatures of Vedic value for the all-round welfare of the general mass of people. It was expected that he would be satisfied by all such activities, but ultimately he was not satisfied. Next 2 verses. Na ati prasada drudayah saraswatyastate sucho vitarkayan viviktasta idam chovacha dharmave. Thus, the sage, being dissatisfied at heart, at once began to reflect, because he knew the essence of religion that he said within himself. The sage began to search out the cause of not being satisfied at heart. Perfection is never attained until one is satisfied at heart. The dissatisfaction of heart has to be searched out beyond matter. Dhrutavrathena dhimaya chantamshi guravo agnayah Manita nirvyalekena grihitam cha anushasanam bharata vyapadeshena hi amnaya artascha pradarshanaha drishyate yatra dharmadi sri shudradivir abhiyuta. I have under strict disciplinary vows unpretentiously worshipped the Vedas, the spiritual master, the altar of sacrifice. I have also abided by the rulings and have shown the import of disciplic succession through the explanation of the Mahabharata, by which women, Shudras and others, friends of the twice born, can see the path of religion. No one can understand the import of the Vedas without having undergone a strict disciplinary vow and disciplic succession. The Vedas, spiritual masters and the sacrificial fire must be worshipped by the desiring candidate. All these intricacies of Vedic knowledge are systematically presented in the Mahabharata for the understanding of the woman class, the laborer class, and the unqualified members of the Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya families. In this age, the Mahabharata is more essential than the original Vedas. Presents the Bhaktivedanta. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshuram-militam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnu-padaya Krishna-krishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamy Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Bhashyatra Deshakarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaurabhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. In the last verse we saw Vyasadeva, how he had compiled Mahabharata for the welfare of all categories of people. Now after compiling everything, still he was not satisfied at heart. Now he began to introspect. What is the reason why he is not satisfied? He says, Evam pravrittasya sada. So one who is always engaged in his respective duties. Bhutanam shreyasi dvijaha. What is that activity? To do welfare for all living entities. Bhutanam shreyasi. Sarvatma kenapi yada. How? By all means, by all his activities, by all his opportunities. Na atushyat hrudayam tataha. Even though he gave his full endeavor, na atushyat hrudayam, he was not satisfied at that time. Then further it says, na ati prasidat hrudayaha. Why he was not satisfied at heart? Na ati prasidat Saraswatya state sucho. When he was not fully satisfied, what did he do? Then he went to river Saraswati, purified himself by sitting on the banks, by touching the water. Vitarkayan viviktasta. Then he started contemplating. Situated in a lonely place, he started considering. Idam cha vacha dharmavit. He started thinking himself, he started explaining to himself because he knew the principles of religion, Dharma. Then, what is the Dharma with? Who knows this Dharma? What is the qualification of the person who can understand Dharma is explained in the next two verses. Dhruta Vratena hi maya, with determination, I had engaged. Chandamshi Guruvo Agneyaha, I had worshipped the Vedas, the spiritual masters, fire. Manita Nirvyalikena, being properly worshipped without any pretense, without any expectation, without any duplicity. Grihitam cha Anushashanam, and accepted the instructions in the disciplic succession. Anushashanam. Shashanam means ruling. Anushashanam means following others' instructions. So I accepted in the parampara system all the knowledge, all the instructions what were communicated. Bharata Vyapadeshana, and I had composed Mahabharata, compilation of Mahabharata. He Amnaya Arthasya Pradarshitaha, which is explained in the disciplic succession in a proper way. I had presented Mahabharata in proper philosophical conclusion as per parampara system. Drishyate Yatra Dharmadi, where people can perceive the religious principles by studying Mahabharata. For whom it was compiled? Stri Shudra Adivir Apiyuta. For women, less intelligent class of people, so that they can understand what is this Dharma by studying Mahabharata. So in that purport it says, he underwent, what are the austerities what Vyasadeva did? He underwent strict disciplinary vows. He abided by the rulings of the Vedas, worshipped the Vedas, spiritual master and the sacrificial fire, and he compiled Mahabharata for the less intelligent class. Even though he had engaged all these things, but still he was not satisfied. Now he is contemplating what made him dissatisfied. So first he compiled one Veda into 4 parts. Then after compiling these 4 parts of the Vedas, then he made 108 Upanishads. The 108 prominent Upanishads, there are more than 5,000 Upanishads, 4,000, 5,000 Upanishads. He 108 were prominent. He had compiled Upanishads basically. Then he compiled Puranas. Then after compiling Puranas, then he compiled Mahabharata, Vedanta Sutra. Even after compiling all these activities, what he is compiling, why he is compiling, he wanted the people of Kaliuga to accept these principles of religion, Dharma, and practice and endeavor towards getting spiritual life. That was his whole and sole intention. And he was not satisfied after doing all the endeavors. So this self-introspection is the aspect which was spoken about here. First he tried to understand, introspect himself. Then he comes out with a reason why he could not. Then he justifies that reason when he meets with spiritual master Narada Muni later. So what is this self-introspection? Atato Brahma Jignasa. Inquiring about this self. So first we should be in the proper constitutional position when we go to meet a spiritual master. If you are in a different mood and if you approach him to try to get clarity, we will not be able to perceive what is being communicated. Like for example, there is a slate. There is something already written on the slate. And that slate you have taken to a class to write the new information. If you write over that slate, can you perceive what is the old data and what is the new data? So it will be khichdi. It will not be able, you will not be able to retrieve what was old, or when you are trying to write something, the old information will distract you. And when you write, okay, somehow you have written everything, the later if you try to understand, you will not be able to distinguish which was the word at least. Maybe old and new becomes complicated and it becomes unreadable for you. So similarly, when we try to go to a spiritually enlightened person, if we go with all the dump in our head, we will not be able to accept the instructions clearly, because that dump what is there in our head will be a blockage for understanding the information or knowledge what is going to come from that spiritual enlightened people. This introspection, what is wrong, what is right, the self-introspection will bring out clarity in one's consciousness. Sometimes we do a mistake.
Hare Krishna.
That mistake, if you go back and if you try to understand, okay, what is the cause of this mistake? Where it failed? Did I take a wrong decision at one particular point? This self-introspection will make that person actually come to proper level and understand where, how, when, what went wrong. So that how he can correct will be easy. And one more thing is, it is not for public opinion. See, there was one sculpture who was carving a deity. He carved one deity, but there was one small, minute distraction in the face what he had carved. On the Dvajastamba top, when generally we go, we see there will be Garuda deities. Some temples we see. On a stone pillar, on the top there will be Garuda deity. So there was a small imperfection on the face, on the Garuda deity. So he started carving one more deity for perfection. Now some people came and they asked him, why are you carving one more deity? This deity is good enough, no? Only one small scratch or one small scar. Who is going to see? Who is going to climb that 15 feet, 20 feet, and who is going to see? What is the problem with that deity? I have seen it. This is sufficient for me. I am not satisfied. If I am supposed to do my job, I have to do it perfectly. So this is what the dedication, commitment, what one should give. Generally, we should not go by public opinion. You are doing your job. My responsibility is that the perfect thing should be there. Because it is, the Lord is seeing me and I am being judged by my activities. It's not that public opinion will judge me. My intention should be very clear. My consciousness should be very clear. Then when I present, people will be able to understand the feelings. What was I going through and how the system was set up. So, now to understand in this position, when Vyasadeva was contemplating, should we treat him like a guru or should we treat him like a disciple? What is his position now? He is in both levels because he had already many disciples, he had transferred the knowledge to many disciples. But he is also in a point of trying to understand more. Means there is no limitation, even though we have become a spiritual enlightened person, there is no limitation to the knowledge. Because Lord is unlimited, the knowledge about the Lord is unlimited, and we will be able to grasp only that much Lord reveals to us. If Lord increases our capacity, we can go on adding more and more. Now this is a specific reason in which Vyasadeva was brought to a situation where it will lead to compiling of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Shastras in purports and all Prabhupada had glorified, what are the qualification of a spiritual master and what are the qualification of a disciple? It says, Maha Bhagavata Shreshto Brahmano vai Gurur Nunam Sarvesham Eva Lokanam Aso Puja Yata Harihi Mahakula Prashutopi Sarva Yajneshu Dikshitaha Sahasra Shakadhyayi Cha Na Guru Syad Avaishnavaha. He is Maha Bhagavata Shreshtaha. Who is a Guru? He is the best of all spiritually enlightened people. Maha Bhagavata Shreshtaha. The best personality. Brahmano vai Gurur Nunam. And he is spiritual master even to Brahmanas. Generally Brahmanas are gurus for other categories of section of society. But he is, Maha Bhagavata is Guru even to Brahmanas. Then Sarvesham eva lokanam, then he is only Guru for Brahmanas? No. Sarvesham eva lokanam, he is Guru for all living entities of all categories. Sarvesham eva lokanam. Then Aso Puja Yata Hari. Then how should I worship him? We should worship him like how do we worship Hari? Sakshad Haritvena. Sakshad Hari. We should worship him as a representative of Hari. So then, Mahakulo Prasutopi. Then he is Guru only for specific people or specific Kula? No. He is Guru for all categories of people. Sarva Yajneshu Dikshitaha. And a person born in an aristocratic family, initiated into performing sacrifices. Sahasra Shaka Adhyayicha, and had studied all the Vedic literatures. Na Guru Syad Avaishnavaha. He cannot be a Guru if he is a Vaishnava. So a person may have all material qualifications, but if he is not a Vaishnava, he cannot be accepted as a Guru. So then further, then qualifications of the disciple are noted further. Amani Amatsaro Daksho Nirmamo Druda Sauhrudaha Asatvaro Artha Jignashur Anasuyur Amogavak. The first thing is the disciple, how he should be? He should be Amani. Means a disciple should be free from false prestige. Then false prestige means what? I am the doer, the concept. We do small activity and we take credit for it, whatever we do. So first aspect is we should not accept that I am the doer. Then Amatsaraha, if somebody has something, we immediately become envious of that person. So we should be non-envious. Then Dakshaha, we should be very expert and we should be very active, we should never be lazy. And Nirmamaha, he should give up the sense of false proprietorship. Mamaha means attachment, this is mine, I am the possessor of it. So Nirmamaha, free from all false proprietorship, including wife, children, home, society, everything. Then Druda Sauhrudaha, he should have a feeling of loving friendship towards his spiritual master. Druda Sauhrudaha, a strong friendship, affection towards his spiritual master. Then Asatvaraha, he should be never be deviated or bewildered, because activities of the spiritual master will not be able to comprehend. So we should not become bewildered at situations, why they have taken decision like that. Then Artha Jignasuhu, he should be always desire to advancement in spiritual understanding. He should have that inquisitiveness. Jignashuhu. Then Anasuyaha, he should not envy anyone. Then finally, he should be Amogavak, should always avoid useless conversation. He should speak only what is concerned. Then further qualities it says. This is Narada Muni explaining in 7th canto. The earlier verse is from 11th canto. He says, Brahmachari Gurukule. You should become first, if you want to learn knowledge, if you have to be a disciple, you have to go Gurukula and should practice Brahmacharya. Vasan, staying there. Dantaha, fully controlled in your senses and mind. Gurur Hitam, you should engage in all your activities for the welfare of the spiritual master. Acharan Dasavat Nicho, accepting all the activities as a menial servant and engage in all the requirements of the duties whatever been assigned to you. Guru Sudrudaha Saudruhadaha, and with full determination in a friendship way we should engage in the service of the spiritual master. Then further, Sayam Pratar Upasita, morning and evening. Sayam Prataha Upasita, he should engage in worship. Guru Agni Arka Surottamam, he should worship the spiritual master, he should worship the sun god, he should worship the fire, and he should worship the Supreme Lord. Then Sandhya Ubecha Yatavag, morning and evening, Trisandhyaha. Japan Brahma Samahitaha, he should contemplate on chanting the Gayatri Mantra, in which he is worshipping the spiritual master, he is worshipping the sun god, he is worshipping the Supreme Lord when we chant Gayatri Mantra. So these are the duties of a disciple. Shri Radha Govindaki. The concept of how a disciple should lead. So same thing Vyasadeva is saying, I had worshipped the demigods, I had worshipped the Supreme Lord, I had worshipped the Vedas, I had worshipped the fire. As a disciple he was mentioning, I have done all my duties. I have compiled Mahabharata for the benefit of all the people, even for less intelligent category of people. But still, I am not satisfied at heart. Hridayam na atushyad. So, what do we understand when we say Mahabharata? How do we know? The technical details. So, generally there is a story which says, Mahabharata started with dog and Mahabharata ended with dog. A concept. Anybody heard this story? Last class we ended with Mahabharata, how the dog followed Yudhishthira Maharaj.
Then Mahabharata started with a dog. There is one story for that perspective, which talks about Janmejaya, because Mahabharata was first recited to Janmejaya. So Janmejaya, once he was conducting a sacrifice. In that sacrifice, different people have been assigned different duties. So there was one dog which is known as Saramaya, son of Sarama. Sarama means they are all known as heavenly dogs, which are associates of Yamaraj. They have 4 eyes and they are able to perceive even some living entity. If they go and hide, these dogs will go identify them and intimate the Yamadutas where this living entity is hiding. So this dog, the son of this Saramaya, who is known as, he came to this sacrifice. And when he came to the sacrifice, when he was visualizing what is there, out of inquisitiveness, what are these people doing, all these things and all, the brothers of Janmejaya, they threw some stones and hit this dog. It became affected. There was some blood coming because of the hitting. So it started crying and went back to its mother, and it explained to him, I went to that place and these people have hit me. Then the mother dog had inquired from the son, did you go and did you contaminate any of their food? Did you go to an unrestricted place? Did you go and do something bad? So she was first contemplating whether if the son has done any wrong. Because you go and bite somebody, they will hit you. You are just saying the half part, you are not revealing that you have bit that person. Or you go and eat something which is meant to be offering, then you are worthy to be punished. So in that way, it is been asked, and the dog said, no, I have not even gone to the unrestricted area, I have not seen their food, or I have not touched or not done anything. Then Sarama said, yes, you are not guilty, and the person who has unnecessarily hit you has to be punished. It came to Janmejaya, and it informed Janmejaya, why did you hit my son? Because Janmejaya was not aware what actually happened, his brothers were doing. So Janmejaya says, I will check with the system. No, your brothers have acted unjustly. You are a king, you are a Kshatriya. Before giving punishment to somebody, you are supposed to understand the situation, study the perspectives, then deliver the punishment. Now you have unnecessarily hit my son. So you are an offender. Because you have empowered your brothers, you are an offender. And now I curse you that you will be afflicted with some disease. To relieve that disease, to relieve that curse, Janmejaya goes to the forest, meets a sage, brings his son, enlisting him in a sacrifice by which he becomes purified of that curse. And then after that, then he became spiritually more inclined. Because of that thing, again he will hear Mahabharata. So in that way, they say the story of Mahabharata started with this dog. The whole perspective, you see, even a dog was considering the symptoms. He is worthy to be punished or not. Like this technical details, through stories only, they teach a person how he has to lead his life. So now similarly in Bhagavatam, that word Dharmavid, Vyasadeva is addressed here as Dharmavid. Now what is Dharma? Unless we understand Dharma, who can understand this Dharma, we will not be able to decide what is Dharma. So Bhagavatam in 6th canto, there is a discussion between Yamadharmaraj and the Yamadutas. Yamadutas wanted to snatch Ajamila, but because he chanted the holy name of Narayana, Vishnudutas had come to him. And Vishnuduta said to Yamadutas, he is not your property, he does not come under your jurisdiction, you have to leave from here. Then Yamaduta said, no, the whole life is a sinful man. Just at the last moment when he chanted Narayana, how he became purified of all the aspects, he is worthy to be punished and he has to be taken to Yamaraja. So then there was a confrontation, and Vishnuduta's question, do you know what is Dharma? Have you been properly trained? Is your Yamaraja doing proper activity? Why sinless people, why unqualified people are taking to Yamaraja? What is this happening? Like that there was a confrontation, then Vishnudutas dominate Yamadutas, and Vishnudutas, they relieve Ajamila from Yamadutas. Yamadutas were struck with wonder. First time they are experiencing in their activity a hurdle. They went back to Yamadharmaraj and asked him, are you the only in charge? Are there somebody more in charges than you? Then what is this Dharma? Who are these Vaishnavas? Like that, some specific questions were put. And Yamadharmaraj was very much satisfied. The first time he is hearing Vishnu's name from the Yamadutas. Said, I am very happy for you. Because you are able to hear about, you are very much inquisitive to understand about Vishnu, Dharma, Vaishnavas, Vishnu Dutas. Now I will explain to you what is this Tattva. Then he explains, he says, Dharmam tu Shakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. Dharma are the principles which are established by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Navai vidu Rushayo napi devaha. Na Rushihi, na devaha. They do not know these principles. Na siddha mukhya asura manushyaha. Neither siddhas, the perfected human beings, nor demons, asuras, nor manushyaha, people in general, even they do not know. Kutascha vidyadhara charanadeyaha. What to speak of Vidyadhara, Charana and others. These are the principles which are established by the Supreme Lord Himself. Not everybody is fully conversant with the subject which was spoken by the Lord. Then, how do you say then, who is the executors of this Dharma? Who are the authorities of this Dharma? Then he says, Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumara Kapilo Manu Prahlado Janako Bhishmo Balir Vayasakir Vayam. These are the 12 people who are the authorities on this Dharma. Swayambhu, Brahma, Narada, Shiva, Kumaraha, Kapilaha, Manuhu, Prahlada, Janaka, Bhishma, Balihi, Vayasaki means Shukdev Goswami, and Vayam means myself. We are the 12 authorized people who are aware of what are the principles of Dharma. Then he says, Dvadasaite Vijanimo. We are 12 people, Dvadasaite Vijanimo. We all understand these principles of Dharma. Dharmam Bhagavatam Bataha. My dear servants, Bataha, these religious principles known as Bhagavata Dharma, we all understand, which are Guhyam, very confidential, Vishuddham, completely pure, Durbodham, which are free from ordinary people to understand. Bodha means to understand. Durbodha means not everybody can understand. Then Yam Jnatva Amrutam Asnute, by knowing which, by understanding this Dharma, one can easily go back home, back to Godhead. So what is this Bhagavata Dharma? What is so speciality? Krishna himself has said, Sarva Guhyatamam in Bhagavad Gita. It is the most confidential subject to surrender unto the Supreme Lord. Guhyat Guhyataram. It is more confidential. Not everybody will be able to understand about this subject. Only those who engage in devotional service can understand what is this Dharma. What is to understand about the Lord, to understand about the principles of the Lord. Only by engaging in devotional service under the guidance of a pure devotee can one understand this. And Yamaraja explains, these religious principles are understandable if one follows the parampara system of Lord Brahma or any of the authorities in 4 sampradayas. Then he says, Etavan eva lokesmin pumsab dharma parasmrutaha bhakti yogo bhagavati tannama grahanadibhi. The essence of, the ultimate essence of these devotional principles are Etavan eva lokesmin. In this material world, for all the people in this material world, Pumsam Dharma Parasmritaha, the essence of, for the living entities who are staying here, is Bhakti Yoga Bhagavati. The ultimate religious principle is engaging in devotional service. To whom? Bhagavati, to the Supreme Lord. How? Tannama Grahanadibihi, by chanting the holy name of the Lord. This is the ultimate religious principle, the Dharma to be followed, especially in Kali Yuga. In other yogas also chanting of the holy name is there. But in Kali Yuga, this is given the first prominence. So in that purport, Prabhupada explains, how can one understand about the Lord? He says, everything in Bhagavatam is directly connected with the Lord, because Bhagavatam itself is personification of the Lord. All the 12 cantos are included within the body of the Lord. So by chanting the holy name and dancing in ecstasy, one comes gradually to the position of to see the Lord, to understand the form, pastimes and transcendental qualities of the Lord. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Bhaktyamam abhijanati. Abhijanati means to know. Bhaktyaman, only when we engage in devotional service, one can understand about the Lord. And if you understand tattvataha, then there is no point of accepting one more body. Punarjanmana iti. He goes back home, back to God. So then there is there any limitation in which one can understand about the Lord? Is material birth a consideration? So there is one story in Lord Jagannath Puri. Lord had performed in Jagannatha as Jagannatha. There was one devotee by name Salabeg. So there was one warrior whose name was Lalbeg, who was working under Raja Man Singh, the Mughal army. So one day when he was in Dandamukutpur near Pipli, when he was passing by, near one village pond, he saw one widow Brahmana lady by name Lalita. He became infatuated by her and he kidnapped her and marries her. So later by their association they have a son by name Salabega. Even though she had been kidnapped and she had been taken away, she was a firm devotee of Lord Jagannatha. She had firm faith. She did not leave her worship of Lord Jagannatha. From the childhood, Salabega was trained towards worshipping Lord Jagannath by teaching songs, by teaching various mantras, prayers, like stories of Dhruva, Prahlada, all the devotional stories from Bhagavatam he was taught. So in that way he had the faith in Lord Jagannatha by hearing all the stories. So this boy was born on Radhastami Day, 16th September 1592. There is a house in Cuttack where their family used to stay. Even today that is preserved. But even though they are forcibly converted, they maintained their etiquette of worshipping Lord Jagannatha. Later in 1607, Lal Beg was worshipped. Lal Beg has been appointed as Subedar of Bengal by Jahangir. At that time, there was one war between Afghans and these people, Mughals. So, because Afghans have revolted against Mughals, so Lal Beg had requested his son Sal Beg also to join him in the war. They went for the war, and in that war, Sal Beg was injured and Lal Beg died. The injury was so severe, it became spreading across his body. All the doctors have lifted their hands and they said, no, this boy will not survive. He is very seriously injured. But mother had so much faith. She went to her guru, one devotee. And the devotee had chanted the holy name, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra for 21 days. Sitting next to his bed. And he was also praying to Lord Jagannatha. And mother was also insisting him to pray to Jagannatha for his cure. On the insistence of his mother, because he was trained, he started praying to Jagannatha. Miraculously, he recovered from the diseases. Although he was distrained that he cannot be cured, but he was cured. So his faith in Lord Jagannatha increased more and more. Now after some time, what happened? Because of his constant singing the holy name and to Jagannatha principles, his other family members, who are all the other Muslims, they outcasted him. They sent him away from his house. They snatched away all his properties and they banished him. Because father is dead. Now the other elders took over him. They dominated him and threw him out of the house. Now because he was completely forlorn, he did not know anything but Lord Jagannatha. He came towards Jagannath Puri to have darshan of the Lord. But when he came here, he was forbidden entry in the temple because he is from a different caste, different religion itself. So now he was not entered even into the temple here. When he wanted to take shelter in some of the matas, they did not give him opportunity. So neither he has a house to stay there, nor he has opportunity to associate with the Lord. He could not have darshan of the Lord. So he thought, let me wait here. And he had put one pandal. Pandal means like a thatched house made of palm leaves on the Grand Road, and he started staying there and he started chanting the holy name. He was waiting for the Ratha Yatra because Lord comes out for those who have no opportunity to enter and have his darshan. Lord comes out to give them the darshan. So he stayed with the Ratha Yatra there, and he was praying to the Lord because he was not allowed into the temple. So when he was staying in front of his, when he was staying in his that small hut, when Ratha came, Ratha stopped. All the 3 chariots stopped there miraculously. And he, to his heart's content, offered prayers to the Lord. Even after 1 hour, Rathas are not moving. Finally, all the Pandavas have understood, now this is a great person. They called him to come and touch the Ratha, to pull. As soon as he pulled the Ratha, then Ratha started. So he was very much satisfied, and because of his devotional sentiments, the king got to know that he is a great devotee. Because Jagannatha Ratha has stopped for him. So after some time, there was another Subedar who wanted to attack Jagannath Puri. So this person went as a neutral person, tried to convince him and ask him to stop attacking on Lord Jagannatha. So that person became convinced by his preaching, and he stopped his attack. So king became even more happy and gave him a place to build his mata. So he had built his house, and he started worshipping and praying to the Lord Jagannatha by everyday singing songs. So once he started his mata, his mother also came to stay with him. After some time, his mother passed away. So he took his mother's dead body near Svargatavara to be burnt. But the local Pandas, they again objected him. No, your bodies cannot be burnt here, only specifically Hindus have to be burnt, something like that. They objected. So finally he finished the ritual somewhere and left disgusted and went away to Vrindavan. But when he stayed in Vrindavan, after some time, then again Aurangzeb attacked Vrindavan. Then again he could not stay there. Then he thought of Lord Jagannatha, and he said, let me come to Jagannath Puri. Very soon Ratha is going to start. I'll come to Ratha Yatra and have darshan of the Lord. But when he started walking towards Jagannath Puri, he became sick. He was so sick that he was thinking that he will not be able to continue this journey of 750 kroshas. So he says, he offers a prayer to the Lord. Satasa pachasa kosha chali na parai, moha jiva jayen nandi gosha tivarahi. He's saying there is 750 kroshas for me to walk from Vrindavana to Jagannath Puri. I think I will not be able to fulfill it. Please wait on the Nandi Gosha itself till I come and have your darshan. Ratha started, Ratha Yatra started. Ratha came at this place where his mata was there, and it stopped. And the king was in full anxiety, confusion, how to pull, because he is also not there. Now, how do you pull the Ratha? Then big strong people were called to pull, elephants were asked to pull, everything they did sacrifices, they did various ways to pacify the Lord, but Ratha was not moving. Then there was a severe flood, and Ratha was stuck in that flood for 3 months. Ratha Yatra, Lord was on the Ratha for 3 months. The entire area was blocked for 3 months. Then in the meantime, then slowly he recovered from his illness, and when he came back to Vrindavana, from Vrindavana, when he came to Jagannath Puri, when he came near the Ratha, then everything became free, and then only then Ratha could move, only after his offering of all his prayers. The king became even more convinced about his devotion. He wanted an opportunity so that he could go inside the temple and have darshan. But people were still reluctant. Pandas at that time, people did not offer him an opportunity. He said, don't bother. I'm not here for all these things and all. But he used to stay in his mata, and every day he used to compose prayers and songs wherever he is there, in that mata. One such song was there, which he has composed. He says, Ekata Bakata Jivana, Bakata Nimatte Tora Shanka Chakra Chihna. Your life, my Lord, is only meant for the devotee's purpose. Devotee is your life. Bakata Nimante Tora Shanka Chakra Chihna. For the purpose of your devotees, you carry Shanka Chakra. Bhaktata Pita Mata Bhaktata Bandhu. The devotees are your father and mother, and devotees are your friends. Bhakta Hitara Tora Nama Krupa Sindhu. You exist for the benefit of your devotees. That's why you are known as Krupa Sindhu, ocean of mercy. Denu Pache Pache Vatsagame Kshira Lobe. As calves run behind the mother cow with desire to drink milk, Bhakta Pache Turi Tau Sei Bhave. You run behind your devotees in the same mood how calf runs behind the mother. Bapama Mogala Pavuma Brahmani. My father is a Mughala and my mother is a Brahmani. Ei kule janmile Hindu, na kaye ma pani. Because I have taken birth in such a family, nobody is ready to accept water from my hand. Kahe Salabega hina jatira yavana. Speaks Salabega, who is from a very low family. Sriranga Charana Binu na jani ai dina. I am such a fallen person, I do not know the Lord except your lotus feet. So this is one such prayer. He had offered many such prayers to the Lord Jagannatha, a great devotee. So his greatness is explained in one more story. One day when he was coming from in Balasore, when he was coming from Delhi to Puri through Balasore, he was staying near a temple of Shyamasundara temple. So after evening prayers are offered, Salabega wanted to have darshan of the Lord, but the people did not allow him to have darshan. But the next morning, the pujari found that the deity was vanishing from the temple. So the same night, the king of Balasore, he had a dream in which a great devotee was there near the temple and he was not given an opportunity to have darshan. So please do something. The king came there, then he opened one small window from the temple so that Salabega could have darshan. And as soon as that window was done and Salabega came there to have darshan of the Lord deity manifested again on the altar. To prove that devotee, even though from a different background, whatever it is, but the devotional service by which one can conquer the Lord is the principle, not by birth, by their material power or by their financial capacity. One cannot become a devotee of the Lord. Material qualifications cannot attract the Lord. Only a sincere devotional service can attract the Lord. That is the principle what we hear here. So this is what Vyasadeva wanted to compile the Dharma with, because he knows the principles of religion which will be brought out through Srimad Bhagavatam, the essence of Dharma for Kali Yuga, which is a replacement for Lord Krishna in this material world for people of Kali Yuga, the Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is like a pretext for the scene to come further. So furthermore points will be discussed in the next verses. We'll stop here. Any questions or doubts? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंद।
హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణ వాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణవాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 91